When you're quilting, it can be convenient to have a little board for carrying your pieces between your cutting mat, your sewing machine, and your ironing board. Today, I'm going to show you how to make this mat. Welcome to Epida Studio. My name is Elizabeth, and I help you make beautiful things with quilting, pojagi, and embroidery. So little boards are very convenient for quilting because you have a lot of little pieces, and if you're moving them from place to place, then this will keep everything organized. You can use these to lay out your blocks before you're assembling them. You can use it to sort pieces on. There's a lot of uses that you can have for these little boards. And you can buy little boards, but it's so easy to make. I'm going to show you how to make this board. So you can use whatever kind of fabric that you want for this, but I've chosen to make one side of mine flannel. And the flannel fabric makes it so it's also like a little design wall. You can even hold it vertically and your pieces will still stick onto it. And so that will just give it a little extra support. But if you don't have flannel, you can use whatever fabric you want. And then on the back of mine, I have this cute pink polka dot fabric. And this is fabric that I got at an estate sale, and it's really cute, but it's not that great of quality. It feels kind of scratchy and it's not great, so I didn't really want to use it in a quilt, but it's perfect for a project like this. And so you'll need your fabric, and I'm going to talk about size, and then you need something to be inside the board to give it a little bit of sturdiness so that you can carry it flat. And there's a lot of different options for what you can use for the inside of the board. You can use cardboard, you could use foam, but something that I really like because it's sturdy and lightweight and inexpensive is if you look around, you can find these little signs. And these signs are kind of plastic. They're temporary signs. So you can even get some from the side of the road where you see old signs that people have forgotten to take down, or you can buy them at a discount store. This time of year, there's lots that say garage sale, but of course, you can find temporary signs from pretty much anything. If there's an election going on, it's the end of election, you can look for those signs. But this kind of sign, it's a lightweight, rigid piece, so it will make a great interior of your board. So once you have your whatever you're going to use for the inside, you can decide what size board you want to make. So you could, of course, just use this size as it is, or if you want something square, you want a specific size, you could cut it down. And these signs cut quite easily with a craft knife, so you can cut any size. So I have another one here, and I cut this one down to be 13 inches by 16 inches. So it's just a little bit smaller, but it's not too small. I think 13 by 16 will be a great size for 12-inch blocks and smaller. And when you know your size, you have your dimensions. So this is 13 by 16. You're going to cut 2 pieces of fabric. So for your main fabric that's going to go on top, so in my case that's the white flannel, you're going to cut it the dimensions, but your width, you're going to make it plus 1 inch, and your length, you'll make it plus 4 inches. So for 13 by 16, I'm going to cut fabric that is 14 by 20. So I have my flannel here. It is cut at 14 by 20. And then for your back fabric, you're going to cut that, you're going to add 1 inch to the width, and you're going to add 3 inches to the length. So 13 by 16 becomes 14 by 19. So I can see when I put my 2 pieces of fabric together, we can see that the backing fabric is about 1 inch smaller. And if your fabric is not exactly this size, as long as it's big enough to go around that you have seam allowances, you can adjust the lengths a little bit. I'm going to show you how I'm doing this, and then you can adjust the sizes if you want to do that. So the first thing we want to do is on our main fabric, we're going to fold the edge in to make a hem. So on one of the shorter ends, I'm going to fold it in by an inch, and I will fold that and press, and then I'm going to fold it in 1.5 inches and press that again. So you can see it's double folded to make a little hem. So I'm going to press that at the ironing board. So this is pressed. We can see I pressed in 1 inch and then 1.5 inches. And just to double check, I can line this up with my mat, and I am using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And so we can see it's 1/2 inch away from the edge of my fabric, and then this folded edge lines up with the edge of the mat. So we should have 1/2 inch around on all the sides except for this side. And so I can see that that is looking good. And then on the flannel fabric, I'm not folding that at all. So I'm going to put my 2 pieces of fabric right sides together, and I'm lining up the raw edge of the fabric. So this edge with the fold, it's going to be not lined up, so it's going to stick out on the edge like this. And once I have that, then I'm going to put some pins to be able to hold them together. So here I have pinned it all the way around. Now for sewing, I've calculated to add a 1/2 inch seam allowance. That's a 1/2 inch all the way around. But because this is about 3/16, it's not quite 1/4 inch, it's a tiny bit more than 1/8 inch, then I'm going to make it just a tiny bit smaller than a 1/2 inch to account for this. Now, if you were using something that had significant thickness, if it was a 1/4 inch thick or more than a 1/4 inch thick, then you would need to account for that in your seam allowance. But this, it's not too thick, and it's also a little bit squishy on the ends. So about a 1/2 inch is going to be good. But if you're using something thick and you're not sure, then maybe try a sample and then be prepared to just adjust your seam allowances to get it to be the right fit. So I'm going to start stitching here, stitch all the way around, and I am going to back stitch at the ends here just to hold that really securely. So once this is stitched around, we're going to turn this right side out. Now, often in things like this, if I was making a pillow or something, I would trim the corners, trim off the seam allowances in the corners, just so that it could be an extra sharp point, it could lay flat. In this project, I'm not going to bother with that because I don't need super sharp corners, and I think having that extra fabric, it's not going to hurt anything, and it will give it a little bit more support in the seam. So that is just a personal choice. Feel free to trim the corners if that bothers you. But I'm going to turn this right side out, and then in the same vein, I'm just going to kind of poke the corners out with my fingers. I'm not going to worry about getting a tool in there so it's a super sharp point. And so here I have this piece. It's like a little pillowcase. Just before I press it, I'm going to test to make sure that this does fit. So if it doesn't fit, I can just go in and adjust my seam allowances to make the seams a little bit shorter, smaller, or larger to fit what I need. But I can tell this is fitting pretty good. And you want it to be pretty snug fit. You don't want it to be loose. So this looks like a great fit. So now that this is done, I know it fits, we can see that this fold comes right up to the edge of the fabric. I'm just going to fold this excess in. And so, that's how I'm going to finish it. I'm just going to do a little fancy fold to make it a bit prettier. So I'm going to take that out and just fold this with the iron. But that is how it's going to be finished. So to finish that, I'm going to fold these with the seam allowance extended. So it's folded in like that. And then I'm also going to fold in the corner like that, because then when I'm tucking that in, it'll be a little bit smoother. So I'll repeat the same on the other side. And the finger pressing, this flannel seems to be holding it pretty good. I don't think I need to press that with an iron. So now I'm going to put my board into the sleeve again, and I'm going to put it in so that the seam allowances are on this fabric side, not on the flannel side. So I'm going to be more careful to put it in so you can see that the seam allowance of the flannel goes around the board. I'm going to slide that right in, and now with this I'll press that again. So I've pressed in, so it's the corners are pressed in, and I will just tuck that in underneath the backing piece here. So there, that fits nice. And it's all tucked in smooth, and we can see that the front of the board looks really good. Now, if I wanted, I could glue this closed. I could tack this and stitch it to keep it closed. I am probably not even going to bother doing that, because there's enough tucked in that it shouldn't come out. And then if something happens to it and I want to wash it, I can easily just slide out the board, wash the cover, and then put it back in. Now, be really careful with these boards. They are great for sorting fabric. They are great for carrying your pieces around, but you cannot use it as a pressing mat. These signs are plastic. They are not going to be iron safe to be able to use. So if you had something like a piece of wood or something that would be iron safe, then you could do that. But think about what's in the middle to think of whether or not that is a pressing surface. So this is great for carrying things to your ironing board. Just don't forget and try and press on this board, or you'll probably have a big mess. So what else would you use these little boards for? Let me know. I know I've heard from people that once they have a couple, they make a whole set and they use them for a lot of different things. So let me know if you use yours for a purpose that I didn't mention, and have fun making these in a bunch of different sizes. And for more quilting tips and tutorials, you can check out my website, epidastudio.com.